Hi, it's Chef Rick, and today I'm making buffalo chicken wings.
First thing you'll need for these obviously is a chicken wing, or multiple chicken wings, but this is a wing of a chicken. My butcher chops off the very tip, which is the wing tip, but you just need to chop that off. And there's two parts to this. You can just cook them like that, like a wing. That's how I like them. But if you've got guests, what's nice to do is separate them into what they call the flat and the drum. There's a join where my finger is there. There's a joint that holds them together. You just run your finger along it until you find a soft bit, and kind of put a knife against that soft bit, and as you start to cut, it will fall almost into the groove, and it should just chop off like this with no pressure at all. So that's chopped just super simply, and that what I'm holding is called the flat. It's got two bones running through the middle, and that I'm holding now is called the drum, just one bone through the middle. It's personal preference which you prefer, but that is how you separate the drum from the flat. It should be very, very easy. So you get them all in a bowl that you're going to be using. To that we're going to add baking powder, salt, garlic powder, and black pepper, and give that a really, really thorough mix. The baking powder is kind of the secret, or the tip here, the top tip, because these are going to be roasted in the oven instead of deep fried. You're going to get just as crispy a skin by using the baking powder there. Give them a really, really good mix. Get your hands in there. If you don't want to get your hands, you don't use your hands, wear a glove. Worst case scenario, just use a spoon, just use a big spoon, but make sure everything is really, really well coated. And now you're going to take a baking sheet, which you're going to line with tin foil and put on a rack, and then just arrange all the wings on there. Give them some space between each one, but when I say some space, I mean anything, just a couple of millimeters, as long as they're not touching. Even if the tips are ever so slightly touching, it's not really going to matter too much, because they will kind of shrink ever so slightly in cooking, but you want them to have just a little bit of space in between each one, as you can see mine have there. And once it's like that, you put that in the fridge. But put that in the fridge and don't worry about when you're going to use it. I mean, the longer you leave it, the better. Some people leave it overnight. But yeah, just put that into the fridge at least half an hour before it goes into the oven. Now the blue cheese sauce, a classic side to serve with buffalo wings. I do not like blue cheese, but I love this sauce. So I use a mild blue cheese. Strength is entirely up to you. All the quantities, of course, are going to be in the description below. Some mayonnaise. Some sour cream. Some garlic paste. Salt and pepper, careful with the salt obviously at that stage. As with salt and pepper and any other ingredients like that, we can always add them later. And a splash of lemon juice, obviously because it's a blue cheese, it's going to be a bit salty anyway, so that's why you'll just put a little bit in at the beginning, and then you can always add more. You can never take it out. Mix this up. I mix it up like this, just with the back of a spoon, pushing against the bigger bits of blue cheese, because I want this to have texture. You could just blitz it in a food processor or in a blender and create a perfectly smooth sauce, but it's not really the classic way to have this. You do want those little bits of blue cheese in there, just to add a bit of texture on the wing. So many of the ingredients that you've added to it, the mayonnaise, the sour cream, are already taking away that hit of blue cheese. But again, if you like that, just use a really strong blue cheese. But even if you hate blue cheese, I'd still recommend trying this, because well, it's delicious. I needed to add a little bit more salt there, and I felt it just needed a little bit more garlic paste. You do it for your own personal preference, but you can see the sort of texture that we're getting there with this. So it's not perfectly smooth, but it does look really, really nice. And a little flecks of the blue from the cheese and a little flecks of black pepper stop this just being a plain kind of white dipping sauce. Now just into the bowl that you're going to be serving it in. And again, that can sit in the fridge until you're ready to go. You can make all of this in advance. Whilst I'm doing that, I will say, please, if you do like my videos, can you hit like at the bottom? It's really appreciated. And also there's a subscribe button below. If you're not subscribed to me already, it's free to do, and it's really great for me. So if you wouldn't mind. And now for the sauce. So this is Frank's Red Hot sauce. This is the famous sauce. This is the one that everybody uses for this. They do their own wing sauce, but get the classic Frank sauce. To that we add some butter and any sweetening agent. I'm just using some runny honey. You could use sugar of any colour. Get that in a pan till all the butters melt. Again, you can use any type of hot sauce for this. You can go crazy and use some really, really intense hot sauces, but always use the butter, which gives it that shine, and use a sweetening component like the honey, which is going to bring out a little bit of sweetness as well. But the classic buffalo wings that we're making here uses Frank's Red Hot sauce, but any vinegar-based kind of cayenne pepper sauce will do. I just think it makes it just a really, really lovely colour, and it's, I don't know, it's kind of sweet, it's kind of sour, it's spicy, works really, really well. They've been doing it forever in Buffalo, New York, which is why this is called buffalo wings. So why change it? And that's it. Just really, really beautiful, really lovely smelling sauce. Celery, it's also served with celery sticks. This is just the classic way. First you think, what's the point? But then when you clear the table away, all the celery sticks have gone, as well as all the chicken wings. So it works really well. They're lovely to dunk into the blue cheese. Literally just pull them off the branch. What do you call it, a branch? Top and tail them, which basically removes the top and the bottom of the celery. And then just chop them into the size sticks that you're going to want. Just chop that one in half, and then chop each of your sticks into half, and then into half again. And that is how to make celery sticks. Super simple really, but it's worth showing you if you've never done it before. So there we go, that's the sticks of celery, which we're going to serve alongside this. Again, put those into the bowl that they're going to be going out in. Stick those in the fridge until you're ready to go. And spring onions, these are totally for decoration, but they just always look nice. So if I'm going to use spring onions for decoration, I'll chop off the bottom. If you get that little limp bit of the spring onion, just pull gently, and it cleans the outside, and it's a really easy way to get a nice bit of spring onion. So you watch this gently, just pull that up, off it pops, and you've got nice clean prepped spring onion. Also just chop off the very ends. If I was cooking with them or making a sauce or putting them in a risotto, I'll leave all of that on, but this is just for decoration. You want the really lovely cleanest bits of that lovely white transition into green, and just chop that as thin as you can. And at the end, we're just going to sprinkle these over the top. Yes, of course, it adds a bit of texture and lovely colour and a bit of flavour, but it's decoration as much as anything. So we'll just chop our spring onions nice and thin, as thin as you can get them. Put those into some sort of container, and just again, leave them until the end. But it's going to help you with prep. Lovely. I love the way the green goes into the white there. It's just such a perfect topping. There's the chicken wings out the oven, out the fridge, into the oven. These have had 10 minutes. That's what they're going to look like after 10 minutes. Yeah, cooking. The skin's crisping. They're getting colour on them. Turn them over. Expose the underside of them. Do this with all of the chicken. So turn every one. And then back in the oven for a further 10 minutes. And here we go. So when they're finished cooking, this is what they're going to look like. Absolutely perfect and lovely. You could eat them just like that, but it's not the most beautiful way I would ever serve it if I was planning on doing it. But you want to just check that they're all cooked through, that skin's lovely and crispy, which these are. Absolutely perfect. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on that. That's it. So you can see it's perfectly cooked. It's still super soft, super moist. These are very hot, so just be careful with those. You can see there's a drum. Now looking a bit more like a drum shape after it's cooked, and it's kind of tightened up and shrunk ever so slightly. But that's a drum, which I think are my favourite. We had a bit of a debate whilst we were eating these. I think I prefer the drum to the flat, but I love them both equally. In a clean bowl, take all your perfectly cooked chicken. And now pour over the warm sauce. Make sure they're all well covered. And get all of the sauce out of the pan. Give that a good mix round. How they do it in restaurants is just kind of you'll swirl it and toss it just like this. Just make sure every wing gets a really nice even coating. Once I've done this, I still will give it a last little mix with my little spatula thing, just to make sure that every last bit of chicken is all nice and cooked. You can be fairly rough with them at this point as well. You don't need to be delicate. They're all nice and cooked, and that skin's lovely and crispy. So they'll hold themselves really well. Let's give them a nice mix round. It's making my mouth water a tiny bit watching this because I'm quite hungry, and I know I've got loads more in the fridge, so I'm going to have these again tonight. Absolutely gorgeous. Put them into a bowl. I now, for the sake of this video and for presentation, just give the bowl a nice little clean up. Just make sure it looks pretty. But these are, sticky chicken wings. Don't worry too much about making it look this pretty. They're kind of just pretty on their own. Look at them. The way the sauce goes on, the way they stick, they just look, I don't know, they're amazing. Give them a little sprinkle now with the spring onions. Again, you'll see what they add. It just looks nice. It just looks a little bit posher with those spring onions, but it does. They do impart some flavour as well when you get a nice little spring onion in your bite. Serve them with the celery sticks and the blue cheese dip, and that is classic New York buffalo style chicken wings. Again, I'm going to start tasting things on video for you now. A little dunk in the blue cheese sauce. It's perfect, it's amazing, it's sweet, it's sour, it's spicy, it's falling off the bone. The blue cheese comes in at the last second and says, like, yeah, I'm here too. Double dipping in there because I'm eating this with loved ones, so I don't really care. And look how quick it comes off the bone. Couple of bites. Just chew that last little bit off the bone, and now you've got a completely clean and perfect bone. It's amazing, it's perfect. Make a load of these. Dazzle your guests. Everyone's going to love you for them. Take them to parties, etc., etc. Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you on the next one.